What is going on, Teach Better family? I'm Jeff. That is Dave Schmitto, and it is Wednesday, July 21st, and that means, well, it's also 5 o'clock Eastern time here, 4 o'clock your time now, Dave.
Real time, that's right.
Which means real time, which means it is brain break time. So we're going to hang out for the next 60 minutes, just kind of chatting, goofing around, maybe having a drink. I've got 250 quality conversation starters that I'm going to throw at Dr. Dave Schmitto. I'm putting him on the hot seat. It's more like a lukewarm seat, really, than anything
I
today.
Questions, Jeff.
So stick around. I will be grabbing questions out of the comments if you want to throw questions at Dave Schmitto as well. So it's all about Dave today. So stick with us. Grab a drink, grab a snack, do whatever you want. Drop in the comments. Let us know where you're at, where you're watching from, what are you getting a brain break from, and if there's anything you want to know about Dave, throw that in there as well. We're going to be back in about 60 seconds. All right, we're rocking and rolling. Candace, what's going on? Happy brain break, everyone. Hey, Jeff and Dave, that's Livia. Livia, always awesome to see you. Zach's in the house. Zach, good to see you, my friend. Carrie's in the house. We've got Facebook users. Who is that? It's not sure. Oh, that's Livia. It's Livia. And Brianna's in the house. Awesome to see y'all. Keep dropping the comments. Let us know where you're at, where you're listening from, what you're trying to get away from. I don't know why you'd come here to get away from anything, but you're probably running away from here and then going somewhere else to get away from this.
I was going to say, this is like the precursor to the party. We give you the excuse to go relax later on.
Yeah, so how's your day going so far? Dave, you had a webinar this morning. How's that going?
Jeff Gargas, let me just tell you about my last 24 hours. I got to hang out with, seriously, some of the coolest people ever over the last 24 hours. And you should be extremely jealous. You've been a part of some of it.
I was going to say, I've gotten a whole lot of Dave and Caitlin over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, you are definitely one of the people I'm excited that I got to hang out with, and I get to hang out with right now. But, had Mastermind last night and all of those amazing leaders and future leaders and just amazing people. Then got to hang out with the ambassador group last night, which was pretty stinking incredible. Caitlin and I got to hang out with them. Then this morning, I spent about a half hour, 40 minutes on the phone with the one and only Becky Schnexer.
Whoa.
Right?
Okay. Leveling up. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it keeps getting better. Then I got to hang out with Caitlin again, along with Liv and Carrie and Nikki and just like the whole crew. It was pretty spectacular. I'm hanging out with you right now. Get to hang out with Josh Stamper for a conversation later on tonight. I'm a pretty lucky guy, man.
What are you and Josh conversing about tonight?
It's a whole lot of none of your business, Jeff Gargas.
So I believe you guys. Yeah, I think you guys talking a little bit about that administrator mastermind, probably maybe a little bit, because I think Josh is looking to get a little more involved in that. So that's awesome. So let's do it. Let's do like a 15 to 20 second commercial for the administrator mastermind real quick and go.
Wow, 15 to 20 seconds. So leaders from all around the country and world, mostly the States, mostly North America, but really everywhere, just come together, and we've been hashing out pretty impressive leadership issues, struggles, conversations. Yeah. Yesterday in both groups, we really talked through how to make leadership and evaluation decisions. How do you fill spots? How do you put teachers in the best position to succeed? How do you balance schedules and make sure that teams can still flourish, but yet your entire school can flourish? Teachers are satisfied, you're satisfied, students are satisfied. Like, just really good conversations. It's been good.
And you hear Dave, if you're not aware of the administrator mastermind, you heard Dave say both groups, because we do that twice on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and then again at 7 o'clock Eastern time. You can come to one or the other or both. They're different groups. They have a little bit different feels depending on the conversations, because it's a different part of the day, so it makes sense. But it's all over at teachbetter.com/mastermind. So you can check that out. As long as we're in commercial mode really quick. So we mentioned your webinar going on right now with you and Caitlin.
Yeah.
You are running another webinar in August, on August 16th, which is the standards-based grading webinar. And it's kind of like a boot camp. It's 4 hours of intense SBG grading assessment work with Dave Schmittou. Can you give us? Let's do another. I'm going to do another 15 to 20 second limitation for Ray. Ray always loves when I do that. I'm like, hey, can you get into something that should take minutes and minutes and minutes to talk and do it in 15 seconds? But give us the 15 to 20 seconds of what's that like?
So if you're an ambassador and you came to the thing last night, it's like that, but for 4 hours. You know how last night after about 75 minutes we had maybe another 3 hours worth of conversation to have to actually get into the nitty gritty. People were kind of left hanging with, "Ooh, I want more. I need to know more." That's what we do. We get in and we really start talking about the practices involved, not just the grade transference of going from ABC to 1, 2, 3, but why grades matter, how they influence your behaviors, how they change everything about your classroom, and how to actually make it happen. So it'll be fun. It'll be intense, but hopefully people will walk away with some actual, as Ray would like to say, tactical and practical takeaways. So it'll be fun.
Love it. I'm grabbing the link really quick so I can throw it in here. I'm going to throw it in the comments. So you have there. So you can register right now to get that. That's 4 hours of those conversations with Dave. So that's over at teachbetter.com/SBG summer webinar. And that you can get sign up for that. That's going to be August 16th. It goes from 9 a.m. Eastern time to 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's a whole lot of Schmittou, man.
You will be ready for a lunch break when you are done. That's for sure. Yeah. But I'm excited about it. It's going to be good.
We might need to schedule a special brain break right at 1 o'clock so they can take the brain break.
You'll need somebody else because they're going to be done.
Well, yeah, because it's going to be enough Schmittou at that point. So I move on from it.
I kind of get intense and fired up when we get into these conversations and this work, and I push and I push and I push and I ask a lot of questions, so people might just want to breathe a little bit. So, yeah.
I just totally I had the website up, and then I just X'd out the website of the conversation starters that I wanted to throw at you. I'm going to throw questions at you. All right, are you good? I'm just going to do. Is that cool?
That's fine, but I had a much better idea.
250 to get through.
Okay.
We're not done. What, you have a better idea? What's your other idea?
No, this is fine. Fine.
No. Come on. You said better. You said okay. Much better. So let's.
It was much better. So first of all, I don't do well answering questions. I'm normally the question asker.
Which is why I want to do this.
This makes me super uncomfortable, and the anxiety is already creeping up.
Just so you know, you're making a great case for my idea, not yours, but go ahead.
Okay. So I know.
No one was like, "Oh yeah, I want to do Dave's idea, not this." Like, okay, but go ahead.
You know how in the summertime, network TV throws those really lame repurposed game shows on TV?
Sure.
So like right now, one of the ones I actually enjoy watching is To Tell the Truth. When those three people sit man a podium, one of them is telling the truth about an occupation or something that they've done, and the other two are lying. Who's telling the truth. So the idea that I had, that apparently we're not going to do today, maybe in the future, is to play a version of To Tell the Truth, but in a different way. So we would let other people decide which Teach Better team member you and I get to be. So let's just say, Jeff Gargas, you would be Ray. And let's say that I would be Caitlin. And we just answer questions. We talk back and forth as though we're that person, not using their voice, not necessarily using their mannerisms, but we would answer it as they would answer it.
As they would answer it.
Yeah, trying to tell the truth through that person's perspective.
Oh, we're supposed to tell the truth?
Yeah.
And then what everyone watching would call us out?
Well, sort of. So there's a couple ways we could do it. Like we could just answer as that person, and people would have to guess who it is that we're acting as or who we're answering as. Or we explicitly say, I'm acting like Caitlin. Ask me some questions and I'll see how much I actually know about her, and I can act out like as if I'm Caitlin. But we won't do that. We'll do your little game, Jeff Gargas.
Well, keep that in the back pocket because we've got 50 minutes. Yeah, we can go there. So these are really. I'm literally just going 1 to 250. I did not pre-screen these. I looked at like 5 of them. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in order, and they're either gonna be good or bad, and it is what it is.
Okay.
But everyone's really excited that you are uncomfortable right now.
You have no idea. I mean, this is breathing heavy right now. So I was always the new kid in school, and I hated it when the teacher would say, "Okay, Dave, let's get to know you a little better." And I have to stand up in front of all these new kids and talk about myself. Oh, you're
going to laugh because these are super easy. So, for example, first one, Dave, is just, what was the last funny video you saw?
Ooh, the last funny video.
And maybe where you saw it too, so maybe we can go hunt for it.
I can talk about funny picture.
I didn't ask about funny pictures, did I, Dave?
Well,
I asked about funny
I'll move it.
videos.
So, I can't do it. So I watch AFV with my kids on Sunday. So there's a bunch of them on funniest videos that I watch. I don't necessarily. There's like John Crist. Do you know who John Crist is? He's a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had a funny one on there today. I don't know even if it's appropriate, but he was making fun of a Christian burlesque that he found in South Dakota, and I thought that's interesting. Found it kind of humorous.
I think we can leave it at that. I think that'll intrigue everyone to go find it. This is a slightly more personal one, I guess. Is what do you do to get rid of stress?
Ooh. Find some sunshine. When I am outside, I am a much happier person than when I'm inside. I can do literally anything outside and find joy and happiness, whether it's gardening, planting trees, going for a run, walking on the beach, standing in the rain, even though there's not a lot of sunshine involved then, but just like truly being outside, especially when the weather is nice. So therapeutic for me.
What is something you are obsessed with? Not interested in, not intrigued by, obsessed with.
Meeting goals. We've had this talk before.
I had a feeling that's where you were going to go.
I'm obsessed with accomplishment, and that's such a loaded word, and I know it. But when I put something on the board, whatever it is, it becomes the obsession. And truly, it doesn't matter what it is. My dad is similar too. My dad is one that my dad doesn't think through anything, and when he gets an idea, he just goes with reckless abandon. I'm kind of similar. I am a little bit more strategic in what I actually put on the board, but once it's there, watch out.
Okay. So, I thought you go that way. And there's we'd have to find it, but there's a past Brain Break where we really dove into it. I thought it was a fun one.
That's in the archives, yeah.
Yeah. Mike, good to see you. Jen, great seeing you. Megan's here. Joe checking in.
Did Megan say her favorite show was on? So she's multitasking. She's watching something else while she's on too.
All right, Dave, we're getting a little deeper here. What 3 words best describe you?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to get another.
These are decent. This is a decent little list.
I'm going to need to refill this coconut rum. That might be 2 words right there to describe me.
Coconut rum. That would describe you really well. I don't know why.
Wow, 3 words to describe me. Maybe driven, curious.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to think about this 3rd one. I feel like this is the critical one that I'll have no others. If anybody else has suggestions for me, I'll take them right now. So
what's another word, Dave? So I think curious, absolutely 1,000%. Driven for sure. My mind was going to humble. I think you're a very humble guy.
I don't know that it'd be humble for me to say that humble is my 3rd word, though. Would it?
That's true. That's very true. And maybe it's better that I say that. Yeah. Your 3rd word maybe would be conceited, and that would actually make you very humble to think that, right? Or something. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, moving on. What would be your perfect weekend? This is like a dating show. Describe your perfect first date, but describe what would be like your perfect weekend now as Dave Schmidt. What's a perfect weekend? This is loaded too, because I really want to make sure that you give us what you would actually consider a perfect weekend, not what the dad/husband of you is supposed to say is the perfect weekend.
So I think right now in this moment, something that would make it feel like a perfect weekend is a completely clear calendar, which is bizarre because I'm a guy, I constantly have to have something to do, but I'm a tired boy right now. A clear calendar where I could maybe fall asleep in a hammock somewhere, wake up feeling a little sunburned, just do what I want when I want, hearing the waves somewhere, somehow swim in a pool, something like just slowing it down for even like 6, 8, 10 hours would be amazing. I don't need the full weekend. If I could get a day like that, that would be amazing. And Joe, yes, a trip not to Home Depot. I'm assuming you're answering this question too.
Yes.
Because when you go to Home Depot, that means there's 1,000 other things that are happening afterwards. However, the time at Home Depot is fun because my brain just starts spinning of all the things I think I need. But then when you actually start doing it all.
Bonus question. Megan Wells is referencing a movie. What is that movie? And who is the star?
Oh, this is Reese Witherspoon, right? No, is it? It's not Reese Witherspoon that's in this? Mm-mm.
Do you know the movie? Can you describe it if you can't remember the name?
I thought it was
William Shatner was also in it.
Yeah, and I can picture the scene, but it's not Reese. Who was that then?
Sandra Bullock.
Was it Sandra Bullock?
Yeah, Sandra Bullock. It's Miss Congeniality.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's Sandra Bullock. I think a lot of people forget that. I don't think they connect Sandra Bullock right away with that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's really not at all. It's a different style. Hey, Alex is here. And Danielle's here. And Alex was jumping into Perfect Date. Yep.
I got to hang out with Alex last night too, just saying.
You saw that too?
Yeah.
Chandler does love this movie. Oh, that's a nice little Friends reference. Yep, look at this. Boom. Everyone's getting it. Oh, Brianna was very upset with your answer.
Can I talk Friends real quick? The door is closed here.
Like your friends or like Friends?
No, the real Friends, the ones that actually exist. So the one on TV, Nick at Night Friends. So, Friends is on Nick at Night every single night.
I know.
Friends. And so I was flipping through the channels. I guess it was Monday night. I was like, oh, Friends is on. My wife was sitting there. I said, Friends is like your all-time favorite show, right? You want to watch this? And she looked at me and said, no, I don't really care for it. I was like, I'm glad I'm finding this out now.
What?
Because, right?
What? So it used to be her all-time favorite, but it's not anymore?
Apparently never was.
Never what? What? Why did you think it was?
Because I'm an idiot, apparently. Because it was mine. I lived my life through my own eyes.
Maybe she just liked it and always acted like she liked it because she knew you liked it.
And now we're at the place now where she's honest. So
yeah, I'm with Brad. I think that's a deal breaker.
I don't know. So let me ask you, going back to the 90s, were you more of a Seinfeld or a Friends person? Obviously, Friends now.
First off, I'm going to answer your question, but I want to first call out that I see what you're trying to do, and it's not going to work. We're going back. So to your question, though, I was more of a Seinfeld guy, but I am more of a Friends guy. The weird thing with my friends, like watching Friends, I remember watching it with my family and stuff, but I didn't really get in and really become a Friends fan actually until after it was over.
Okay.
Several years later, when I moved to my first apartment and didn't have cable hooked up yet because my roommate didn't move in for another month, and I just had my brother's Friends DVDs and a computer that I could play DVDs on, and I just watched it over. I'm like, oh, I really like this show. But prior to that, it was Seinfeld. I really enjoyed Seinfeld because my other brother watched that. Like, he was a huge Seinfeld fan, so I think that's why. So, but
is How I Met Your Mother like your all-time go-to?
Oh yeah. That type, like sitcom type show, definitely How I Met Your Mother. Definitely, I've watched it.
How about The Office or Parks and Rec?
Didn't watch either one of them.
Really?
So, wow. So those were both ones that, to me, were ruined for me. And this is just the way my head works. It's not legit, but ruined for me by people around me who just went nuts about them. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch the show anymore because you've made me sick of it. And I've literally never watched an episode. So I don't know. And there was a thing like when I was younger with the Office, the whole "that's what she said" thing. The guy who played guitar in my band was saying that freaking decades prior to The Office, and like The Office was like their big thing. And I'm like, that just makes me think this show is dumb, which was me at a young age. I'm pretty sure if I watch it now, I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. But my brother was obsessed with it, and I think that made me not want to watch it.
That I understand.
And I have a really good friend who loves the Parks and Rec, and she just go on and on about it. And I'm like, this makes me not want to watch it. I don't know why. That's a dumb reason not to. You would think that made me want to watch it more, but I don't know. I get it. Just one of those weird things.
I am totally into Parks and Rec now. I never saw it because I saw it on a flight up to Plano just a couple weeks ago. It was on the Delta Airlines thing. So I started watching Parks and Rec, and I was like, this is actually pretty funny. And now I'm kind of hooked. So
and another one is 30 Rock, because I have friends. I have a good friend of mine that loves 30 Rock, and like I wanted to get into it, but I never did. So those are three that I think that I should get into because I'm pretty sure because I could binge them forever, right, or for a long time. But just we got a lot of people jumping in here with the Friends, Seinfeld, watch Friends, watch Seinfeld when they got older. Breeze on my team. Alex is calling Parks and Recs for the win. Oh, jeez, what is going? Wow,
That's a little Janice. That's a little Janice. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Never seen How I Met Your Mother. So How I Met Your Mother is one of the ones like if I ever see Carter Bays in person, I'll punch him in the face for the ending because I was that invested in those characters that I'm like, no, the way you ended that show is literally not the way that would have happened.
Agreed.
It doesn't make any sense with the character arcs that you built for 9 seasons of these characters. It's stupid. Yep. And the whole thing was like, oh, love is good. I'm like, no, that's not what this is.
Yep.
Like what you really did was set it up so that we know. Anybody fans of How I Met Your Mother know that by this time now, they've gotten divorced and it was probably messy. So anyway, moving on. Nice job there. Appreciate what you did there. Dave, what is
screen successful?
What is your favorite number and why?
Oh, okay. This is going to be weird. As if everything else isn't. My favorite number is 1,088,000. Why, you might ask?
1,088,000.
1,088,000.
It's not even like 1080, like 1,088,000.
No.
Yeah, why?
It has been my favorite number since I was 4 years old. So when I was a kid, my dad's go-to line with me was, "It's not my job to entertain you." I would go to my dad all the time and say, "Dad, can we go play catch? Can we play football? Can we do?" And he would always say, "It's not my job to entertain you." So I would have to go find some things to do by myself. And my go-to activity in my room was I would get my baseball glove and get a racquetball and throw the racquetball against the wall and try to catch it. And I would try to get as many catches as I could in a row. One day, when my dad came to ask me to stop entertaining myself because the racquetball was making a lot of noise, I randomly out of nowhere said, "I'll stop when I catch it 1,088,000 times." Don't know where that number
just
came
the number
from.
that you randomly made up because you knew it was a really
like
big number.
4 or 5 years old when I just threw it out there, and that number has stuck ever since. Like 1,088,000 comes up in so many conversations with my parents now when they are making fun of me. But it's been my favorite number. I've never been able to use that number for anything. It's
I was going to say, like,
number that I can use in the
lottery. Did you play sports? Did you play sports in high school and stuff?
Yeah, I did, but 1,088,000 never fit on the jersey.
I was going to say, like, so what number did you go with if they were like, "Hey, Dave, what number do you want for your jersey?" If you had your pick, would you go to 88 or like 8 or whatever? Because it doesn't matter at that point.
Actually, my jersey, no matter the sport, was always 10 because I was a huge Dennis Rodman fan when he played for the Pistons.
10 is my number.
There you go. Well,
interesting.
It was foreshadowing. But I was a huge Rodman fan back when Rodman was
mine was not because of Rodman,
back when he played for the Pistons. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Brad Hughes wrote the number out. It's a confession that it's taken me this long. That might be the first time I've actually ever seen that number written out to see how crazy it is. Like in my head, it just rolls off the tongue. But when I see it, I'm like, that's kind of a weird number. Yeah.
All right, Dave, what are you doing this weekend? I'm literally just going. We're on question 7 of 250.
Let me see. Hold that thought. Because right now I'm kind of moment to moment. Oh, this weekend. So on Monday, it's my youngest son's birthday. He turns 6. So I'm going to have to talk really quietly. So on Sunday, we're taking him to a monster truck show.
Nice.
Monster trucks are coming to the Civic Center here. And
that makes sense.
So we're gonna take him there on Sunday. Stop it. So we're gonna take him there on Sunday and have a good time. And then on Saturday, maybe doing some school shopping for the kids.
Nice. Very cool. How old is he going to be?
6.
6. This is a good one here. What is the most useful thing you own?
So let me, besides like my phone, or is that an okay answer?
That's a thing. So
yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I'm like, it's definitely my phone. Right?
My phone kind of does all the things. So
it took me until this last phone purchase. Ever since having business and stuff and like doing so much work on my phone, to my last phone purchase where I'm like, you know what? If I'm spending money on anything, this makes more sense than almost anything other than maybe my house, because I do more on my phone than anything else there is. Like, it's the most useful thing I own without a doubt, other than maybe the toilet.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip that part.
Luckily, this isn't about me, Dave. This is about you.
But see, the issue is there are bushes that can accomplish the same thing, but there's not anything else that can really replace your phone. But anyway,
couple tin cans and a string.
That's true. Can I ask some questions to the people?
No, you can't.
I need some clarity real quick. Like, Megan Wells is going to Mississippi. unless you're going to see Taylor Armstrong, Megan, what else is in Mississippi that would draw you there on one of the last weekends of the summer?
A river with catfish.
You can stay on your side. You can go stay on the Louisiana side, the Missouri side. Like, you don't have to go to Mississippi for that. So I'm just curious. And Brianne, the school supplies thing. Agreed, prices do go up. But here in Florida, they actually do tax-free weekends to buy school supplies. So they're the 2 weekends before school starts. They start everything. All school supplies are sales tax-free. So in essence, an 8% sale on everything. So
what is going on with Bree and Nick? You're talking about food and who talks about dropping food or whatever? Like there was dropped food and had to pick it up, and someone else. I own a dog. She said I own a dog. Never have to worry about what happened. I missed the conversation on food messes, but I'm interested. I'm very interested. I no longer care about this. I'm interested in the comments right now. What is going on? Oh, her mom's there.
Near Biloxi. Ooh. Now Biloxi's a fun little town.
Anyway.
Wondering, Megan, you going to spend any time on the little boats and throw a little money down?
I second Brad.
I got a special number you can place a bet on. 1,088,000.
Is that black or red? You live in the Gulf now.
Seriously, Megan, you're like 2 hours away from me if you're going to be near Biloxi. Just saying.
Oh, the dog is the most useful thing she owns because she never has to clean them.
Oh.
I get it. Canada really enjoys. Sorry, you still have tax weekends. Yeah, but overall, Brad, everyone's just nicer there, so it evens out. Just saying. All right, moving on. This is a great one. What is your favorite way to waste time?
Brain break. Next.
What do you think of tattoos? Do you have any? Yes. I assume you think they're okay.
It depends, honestly. It depends on the tattoo.
Okay, well go ahead and answer the question. I won't assume.
This is crazy. No, this is kind of weird. And I'm going to offend some people here. I'm sure I am.
Oh, do it. Let's get offensive. I like when we get offensive.
It's what I do. I kind of
call gradeless, going gradeless a fad. Do it. Better yet, call something.
Don't
cancel culture.
Jeff.
Let's get in some. What else did you call last night?
Jeff. Cancel culture. What?
Someone earlier called you fat. I don't know if you saw that. Mike.
No, I did.
Mike was like,
that was Mike because I was coming at him. So it's all good. I got what he said. So I'm weird about tattoos. I like tattoos if it's a tattoo that I think I would get. Like if it's a tattoo I look at, I'm like, I don't really enjoy that art. Then I'm not a fan of them having that tattoo, which is weird because it's all just self-expression. But if somebody else's tattoo doesn't express me, then I don't like it. Yeah, I don't know. I should have said that.
Do you judge people for other life decisions that you wouldn't make?
Oh, yeah. Don't we all?
I guess that's a pretty broad question. But so if you see someone with a tattoo, like maybe on the arm where you already have a tattoo, but it's I don't know, Mike Tyson's face. You're like, that's a stupid tattoo because you would never get it.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And yes, I use that because I have a guy I went to high school with who had Mike Tyson's face like really big on his back, because he was a boxer.
So and like
that's interesting.
We've talked to Ray before about because Ray's got more tattoos than me.
Yeah,
but Ray has tattoos that are like, what are they called?
You can't see it. You can't even see it. They're white ink, and you can't. Yeah,
and I think it's fascinating and intriguing, but I don't understand it. So, like that's an example of one I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. All right, moving on. I'm gonna let it just kind of.
Brad Hughes, the Miss Piggy would not work on you, sir, because it wouldn't work on me. So.
Oh, I live. I think Brad would rock that. Number 11 is, do you have any pets and what are their names?
I do. 4 kids aside, I've got a little furball multi-poo named Jack. Yep. You hear him sometimes. You see me rolling my eyes when you hear him yapping in the background. Right now he barks at every little thing because he's still getting used to the new place. And he's a lot of fun right now.
We already covered your perfect weekend. We already covered this coming weekend. The next question is, what'd you do last weekend?
What did I? I hung out with you. We had a nice meeting on Saturday. I got to go to a birthday dinner for my niece. My sister and her daughter live down here just a few miles from us. So being able to hang out with them has been amazing. My niece turned 17. So went to a little Japanese hibachi place, and the kids absolutely loved it. So that was good times. And then I watched it rain because it rains every day here. Every day. And I actually did some research. Did you know that second to Oahu, this is the rainiest place in America? Yeah, I probably should have researched that before I moved here. It's the Sunshine State, people. No. It's
Interesting.
Whatever. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we celebrated my niece on Sunday.
Awesome.
It was her graduation party, so we celebrated that. This is an offshoot question, not on the list, but your answer made me want to ask you this because I don't think I've ever asked that I know. How many siblings do you have? You mentioned
one.
Sister. Just your sister.
Just one.
Older or younger?
She's 11 months older than me.
Okay.
And ironically, we were best friends until third grade. And then so when I was in third grade, she was in fourth. So we had some separation. We weren't in the same classes or anything. But then I skipped fourth grade. So when she went to fifth grade, all of a sudden I went to fifth grade and she and I were in the same class. And it was fireworks for about 15 years after that.
Alex, can you do me a favor? Go Google. Can you figure out exactly what? See if Dave's right. Is Florida really the second rain? Or you're talking like your Pensacola is the second.
Pensacola,
not Florida as a whole, but Pensacola.
Correct.
Interesting. Yep. Very interesting. All right, we're gonna keep going. I like this one. Dave, this is number 13, by the way. We still have quite a few to go to get to 250. What is something popular right now that annoys you?
Ooh.
Here's a good answer. That. Twilight is the dumbest movie that's ever been made in the history of movies, and they should have stopped.
Is that still popular?
So stupid. Sorry, go on. I'm sorry for anyone who likes Twilight. As soon as they started twinkling, I'm like, seriously? They twinkle? Okay, moving on. So, what is something that annoys you right now that's popular?
So I can list like a few things that are all kind of the same thing to me, like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, Love at First Sight, The Housewives, like all of those shows where you're on TV and you're like, I fall in love in 10 minutes. I'm going to make a show about it and get married. Like, come on.
Is that The Housewives too?
Isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know, because the first couple, I'm like, so all the ones where they're like, we're going to make love on TV, like, and make you fall in love. Those, yeah. But then, then you said Housewives. I'm like, that's more like just like the drama-filled.
All of that stuff.
Reality TV. But all reality TV?
No, because Survivor's my all-time favorite show, and then Amazing Race, like, I love those. But because those are game shows. But the ones where you're really playing with people's lives and faking emotions,
and you know that they're faking all that. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I agree. I'm not a fan either. People love them though. Yeah. What did you do on your last vacation? You live in Florida. You're basically on vacation all the time. We're skipping that one. When was the last time you worked incredibly hard? Well, we know that doesn't happen, so we're going to go on to 16. Are you very active, or do you prefer to relax in your free time? Sounds like the answer is you prefer to relax. We talk about your perfect weekend.
Well, I'm thinking going forward, I'm going to start trying to find some joy in relaxing, because for 43 years, I don't necessarily think I've done a very good job of it. But I'm feeling right now, like I was joking to you yesterday. I think I was just telling you yesterday how I suffered an injury because I'm literally stumbling into old man syndrome now, because I'm just doing stupid things now. And I just need to find some time to relax and slow down. Like I told you, I dislocated my shoulder this weekend mowing the lawn, people. Mowing the lawn. I've got a 15-year-old.
Not starting a lawnmower, just mowing.
I've got a 15-year-old right now that I need to start tapping into, being like, Daddy's old. Do some work.
Is Big Brother one of those shows? I think it is. I know you don't want to upset Brittany Wolf, but
Brittany, so I was a big fan of Big Brother back in the Dr. Will days. So if she's a fan, she knows what I'm talking about. Back when Dr. Will was on, and all, that was pretty cool. But now it's getting kind of skanky.
Megan Wells mentioned Shark Tank. Do you ever watch Shark Tank?
Oh yeah.
So it's really frustrating to me, but I love when you go on there and like, and I know that a lot of people go on there because they don't actually necessarily want the deal; they want the exposure.
Yeah.
But if they actually like seem like they really want the deal, they talk about it, and then like when they get the offer, they just they didn't think at all like, oh, what are we gonna do if they come in under what we wanted? Like they didn't think through any of that. I'm like, really? Like you're going in there, you're evaluating your company at like $38 million, and you haven't thought about what if Kevin comes in low, like because he's gonna come in low. So I enjoy that show, but it drives me crazy sometimes.
Who's your favorite shark?
Damon. I think most
Really?
time. Well, or I like
doesn't make offers though. Damon.
I know. I
out all the time.
He's so smooth, dude. I just like him.
Did you ever wear FUBU back in the day?
No. But I just love his backstory and how he got started and what he did to get there and stuff. And I really like I like Cuban on there. And Kevin O'Leary is okay. I don't agree with a lot of the way he thinks through, but I appreciate it. And then what's Lori? I think Lori's yeah, she's got I enjoy it, and they have like guest ones on there too. It's not something that I watch all the time, but if I see it on TV, I'll flip to it usually because the kids don't mind it, and I can watch it, and it's better than like SpongeBob. Sorry, Brad. Sorry.
And Megan, I agree with you. Damon is a fun one to follow.
Yeah, he's a fun follow. Yeah.
He's always encouring people to reach out and have a convo with him. That's cool.
So. This one might not work because I'm not sure they exist. But what do you do when you hang out with your friends? Is this what you do?
I convinced them to start a 1 hour show once a week.
All right, we're on to 18. Who is your oldest friend and where did you meet them? Who's your oldest friend in the world that you're like still friends with?
That I'm still connected with. Just lost Jeff Gargas. Weird. Okay. He wanted to know who my oldest friend is. And this is super weird because now I'm just talking by myself. Apparently Jeff Gargas doesn't want to be my friend anymore. See if I can. It
literally just said something went wrong. I'm like, yeah, apparently, because I'm gone.
Because you started asking me about my friend. And I was like, no. You're like, don't say me.
What did you say? Like I was on the edge of my seat.
That was super weird.
Do you have any friends that are your old friends still from high school and stuff? Or again,
what? Because I moved around a lot. I went to 16 different schools. I was always the guy that had all the acquaintances, but not a lot of long-term friendships.
Yeah.
But when I was just in Vegas, and I put this on social media because it was one of the most meaningful things to me that's ever happened to me. When I was in Vegas, a friend of mine who I went to high school with for my junior year, she lives in Vegas, and she saw I was there, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're here! Let's connect." And I got to hang out with her for like 4 hours, and it was like we didn't miss a beat. And it has been 27 years since I saw her.
That's cool.
And now she is bringing her whole family, and they're all going to come down for vacation in a week.
No kidding.
Hang out down here. It's just it's
that's super cool. So you've known her from
27 years ago. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we literally haven't talked since. So
I still have a good friend. We only see them once a year, but we do a minimum of once a year, usually either like a Christmas, we get the kids together or whatever. But it's a buddy of mine that I met when I was 5 or 6 years old, still going. So that was like 26 years ago too. Wow. It's closer to 34. All right. Number 19, what's the best or worst thing about your work or school? What's the best or worst thing about working for the Teach Better team? What's the best and worst? We're going to go both. What's the best thing about working with Teach Better and the worst thing about working with Teach Better? Serious answer.
I can answer this one. Yeah, the best is 100% the people. Sometimes you get into work and you're like, the work is what I'm passionate about. For me, the people is what I'm passionate about. And it's you, it's Ray, it's Chad, it's the people I get to work with all the time. And it's the entire family as well that I get to, like all those people that I was just rattling off that I've got to hang out with over the last 24 hours that I get paid to hang out with. I mean, like I get to hang out with you and do Brain Break and just socialize. I mean, that's amazing. Just being able to hang out with amazing people.
You get paid?
Well, I tell myself that I do.
Hey, Chad, when do I get paid? When do I get to get paid? Like, why does Dave get paid? I know I understand you get, but why does Dave get paid and not me? No, I get why Ray gets paid. That makes sense. She does everything. But why does Dave get paid and not me? I'm not talking to Chad. That's just my wall. So weird. I feel the same way. I want to see if I can do that for a little bit. Okay, so I was a little disappointed that you didn't say it was 1,088% the people, but we'll go with 100%. That's fine. Yeah, what's the worst part about?
Oh, this is a real answer, huh?
What's the worst part?
There's a couple things that I'm wrestling with here, Jeff. No, I think Sometimes when you're super goal oriented and you like just being able to cross things off the list and say, hey, I got that done, at least for me, being able to get things done. With the work that we're involved in, oftentimes the work is never done.
Yeah.
It just always goes.
Yeah.
It keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And it's like climbing a sand dune. Like you get one step up and then there's a few more things waiting for you, it's an amazing problem to have, but it's ongoing and it's,
yeah. Dave, do you do a list, like a daily list that you cross out to, or are you kind of static like I am where I have to do that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I do is I work really hard. Sometimes I have to work hard because of that to create the little things that I can put on a list so I can still have that accomplishment, because I need that too. And I would tell you that's probably the hardest thing about, not the hardest thing. It's mentally, it's a tough thing that we do because we're still young and growing. It's like, oh, good job, you did that. Now here's 38 things that made you now have to do, right? Totally get it.
My 8-year-old, he's super cute. It's still summer vacation for him, and he's trying to understand and grapple with work and what that means, and meetings when I'm online and having a conversation versus just doing work. And in his mind, it's just doing work. So I can interrupt you and I can come talk to you and I can play with you while you're working, right, Dad? So we're to the point now where he has his own whiteboard and I have to give him my schedule and my to-do list every day so that he can cross things off, so that he knows what work is and he knows when I can be interrupted and when I can't. And
I love that. That's great.
It's pretty cute, but it's helping because he's otherwise constantly saying, are you just working or are you in a meeting? So
my kids do the same thing when I'm upstairs, like when they're here with me all day, and I'm like, I'll go upstairs and just check on them, whatever, and I'm like getting down. I'm like, all right, I'm going back down to work. They're like, are you going down to work? Or are you getting on a meeting? Or are you getting on a call? And then it's, well, I'm going to be on a video. And they're like, well, are you live or is it a meeting? I'm like, oh, well, it's a meeting. Well, are we allowed to interrupt or not? I'm like, okay, there's a lot of qualifier here. Like, I'm just going, but they want to know, like, are you going to have a meeting with Ray? Where if we pop in, it's okay because Ray's just going to say hi? Or are you with where you have to be a little more professional and or whatever. So I get it. That makes sense. All right. Number 20, if you had intro music, what song would it be?
Ooh, so if I'm walking up to the plate and somebody's announcing me.
Okay, my mind went to entering for the ring, but yeah, let's do play. Okay. Play, that's fine too.
So Tim McGraw, Real Good Man. And if you're not familiar with it, Google the lyrics.
Anybody shocked?
I may be a real bad boy, but I'm a real good man. That's basically the gist of it. So don't shake your head and roll your eyes at me, Jeff Gargas.
Oh, shoot. I forgot. I was on a different tab looking at the questions. I thought you can still see me.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Number 21. We're at 21. We're almost there. What were you really into when you were a kid? Ooh, that's a good one. What were you really into when you were a kid?
So I am 5'10", but I was obsessed with basketball. Unfortunately for me, I was 5'10" in third grade. So I grew up playing.
Oh, you were super tall when you were little.
Oh, yeah. I was a center, and I used to dominate until about 8th grade. And then I was the smallest and still playing big man style and realized I need to do something differently. So I tried football. It didn't work. I played volleyball, but I was still only 5'10". So sports, but probably basketball was the biggest obsession.
You were biggest into, okay. If you could have any animal as a pet, what animal would you choose?
Can I tame it? Can I qualify that it's a tame pet?
As a pet. So we'll put the assumption that if you had it as a pet, it would be it wouldn't kill you.
Because I would want either a koala or a kangaroo. But those things can both be crazy vicious, right? But they're so stinking cute.
I have just not noted that I agree, but it's a great pick. But yesterday, I'm out letting the dog out, and we have a mama deer and her 4 babies that are like basically living in our backyard. And so every now and then you go out there and over this way about 100 feet, two baby deer land. The 2 other ones were up. They took off as soon as I came out. But the 2 other ones just sat there, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to video because Jacqueline's not here. I'll take some video. And I always like, how close can I get? So I'm walking, they're not moving, then they get up a little bit, whatever, and I'm getting close. And I can just like feel something here. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And so I turn, and I'm looking along the side of my house now, and through the tree is Mama just looking at me. And I'm like, I'm about to get whooped. And so then so of course my brain goes, let's see how close I can get to Mama. And then she took off. So then I walk around the house to where she went, and I'm like, I'm walking around. I'm like, okay, I'm either going to capture her just kind of whatever, or this is going to be the best thing ever on TikTok because she's going to I'm going to come around a corner and she's going to be like ninja kick me. She did, and she took off. But I gotta edit it just right because it was like this moment. I'm like looking, oh, look at the cute deer, and then I turn around and she's just eyeing me because she's just, I'm clearly trying to figure out like what's going on. Of course, by the way, not a great mom. She just ran away. Like there's a potential predator between babies and you run away. Anyway, then the one baby let me get really close, and I got scared that it was going to attack me. But it was a great moment. My dog
stuck in a mental image of you saying this mama deer was going to ninja kick you, because I don't think that's how they attack. But man, that would have been an epic.
They jump and paw. Well, they jump and hit with your front legs. But I pictured her jumping and hitting with the back legs,
like flying forward.
Yes, yeah, like and probably some noises.
Okay,
ninja-ish. I don't know. You let it go wherever you want in your head.
I know Bambi, that the mama deer tried to take care of the baby and then the fire came and all that, but do mama deer typically watch over
I actually found out for the first I can't remember, forgive me, first I think it's the first 2 weeks, baby deer don't give off a scent. And for the week, like the first week or 10 days or something like that, mother deers actually don't have it, they don't start producing milk until later on. So for the first week and a half, they can't feed the baby deer, so they don't go near it because the baby deer is not putting off any scent, so it's not likely to get hunted, which is why you can get close to a baby deer because they're natural. They just know, don't ask me how, they just know that I don't get off a scent, so what I do is I stay completely still if a predator comes around because he'll think I'm just nothing and I don't smell like food. I learned this because they gave birth in my neighbor's yard and he researched the heck out of it. To figure out because the mom had left and didn't come back and they were worried. Well, I guess it's not unusual for the mother deer to go away for a week to a week and a half because she's got to go feed and get ready to come and nurse it and stuff. But we've literally walked out back and they're laying there and nursing the babies. It's like the craziest thing. Like they watched the birth. And we're not out in the middle of nowhere. It's not like we're not in a downtown city. We're in a suburb. It's not it's not where you'd expect to find a bunch of deer. I'll tell you that. But we have a lot of deer.
That kind of stuff is so fascinating.
That they just know that type of stuff. It's really crazy. Yeah.
Oh my god,
it's really crazy.
Because I think about when when we had kids, my oldest son, who's now almost 16. I remember he was born, he was laying in his bassinet, and the nurse kept coming in at night. She came in, did 3 checks. I remember after the 3rd check, my wife and I looked at the nurse and said, "Is somebody going to feed him and change his diaper?" And they're like, "Yeah, you are." I had no clue. I thought that was something that they did while we were checked into the Hotel Ritz. But no, we were supposed to do that. There's no innate instinct in me to know how to do that stuff, but a deer knows how?
Yeah, it's crazy. Alex, to my understanding, that's what I got from the conversation. Now, to be honest, my information is coming from my neighbor. Now, he's a former educator that taught for 35 years and retired, and very intelligent guy I respect, so I trust his research. Because he's, that's just the kind of guy he is. But yeah, that's from my understanding. They don't need it for the first. And I might be off. It might not be the first week and a half. That might just be the first 5 days. I think the week and a half was actually the scent part. The babies don't give off a scent, so they don't need protected. They usually put them for a little bit. They were in the back, right behind on the back side of our garage. It's there's weeds, bushes, so they laid it on there. Because it's kind of high a little bit. So it's really it was interesting. It's been a really interesting thing. So anyway, moving on. Here's a great question now. Number 23, Dave, have you ever saved an animal's life? And if that's not cool enough, how about a person?
So going fishing and then releasing the fish back to the wild. So I'm guessing
I don't think that counts.
I would have killed it and I decided not to kill it. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
Well, there's stray pets that I go outside and feed and give water to. I want to justify turtles in the street that I pull over and move them out of the street so they don't get run over.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Other than that, I feel like a horrible person now. I kind of want to see somebody having a heart attack in front of my house so I can go save them. Now I don't know. I feel like I need to save somebody right now.
Can I tell you about times that I saved both an animal and a human?
Yes, please. Is it the same story?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, about, probably 13, 14 years ago, we went down to North Carolina with my parents. And the day before we were supposed to leave, we're sitting down there by the water. and we're just like whatever, hanging out. I'm just watching the water, hit and make the sand look different every time the little waves come up. And like I see one that's like it's like this weird looking shape, and I'm like, kind of looks like a shark fin. And the water hits a few times. I'm like, oh, that's a shark, like little shark. I don't know, baby or just a small shark had washed up, like turned the wrong way. And so I'm like, hey babe, there's a shark. Amy's like, oh, so we went and picked it up, and it was not like we tried to get it and wouldn't swim. So my wife, being smart as she is, we took it to the hole we had dug and filled with water for my nephew. We got him out first. And my wife revived it. We revived it back to life by moving around because sharks have to swim. That's how they breathe.
Mouth to mouth. So okay.
No, that's what I wanted to do. She's like, no, that's not how that works. So we did that, and then I got to walk out to about waist deep and release it back in the water, which is really cool because I love sharks.
You knew there was a baby shark in the water, and you went out waist deep.
I don't believe it was a baby shark because it was a black tip Atlantic, which it's not
18 inches, 20 inches.
Yeah, they only grow. So it might have been a full grown of its size, and there's billions of it. Like in North Carolina, like the shores of Carolina is where they're the most popular. And so I released back in. Best part is, and I swear to God, this was an actual story. This is like seems like a joke, but it's actually true. We had a lot of people walking. We kept them up there for a while, and people were stopping, and obviously it was a cool thing on the beach. And after I released it, a woman walked by and was like, oh, where'd the shark go? I said, oh, we put him back out in the ocean. And she goes, why would you do that? I swim there. And like she caught herself right after she said it. She goes, and she just like walked away with like, that was a dumb comment. But that was like her initial reaction was like, why would you put it back? So that was the shark. When I was much younger, I don't know how old I was because I don't remember a lot of it. I don't know why I don't remember this, but my mom told me the story a bunch. There was a couple years down, young girls, two sisters, and they were swimming. We were in my parents' pool or whatever, and the girl didn't know how to swim and flipped off the raft in the deep end, and no one else was like there other than other little kids that didn't know how to swim. And I dove in and pulled her out of the water and got her out of the water.
Look at you. That's a good story.
I don't know that I necessarily saved her. She probably would have been fine, but we're going to pretend like it was dire. Like there was waves and like, nah.
Did you dig a hole for her and put her in the hole? And like,
and like Amy came, we just like moved around, like breathe, and she's like, I'm underwater. And we're like, just, and we're like, oh, she doesn't breathe like a shark. My bad. That just really ruined this story. Then, no, that was mine. All right. Oh, this is a great one. Number 24. If you opened a business, what kind of business would it be? We're gonna try. We got 8 minutes. I'm gonna try to get to 30. Okay. So if you could open a business, what business would it be? Let's see how high we can go. Go.
A coffee shop.
Good call. What is your favorite? Who is your favorite entertainer? We already know this. Tim McGraw.
Well, that's my favorite musical. My musical entertainer. Yeah, I'm a Tom Hanks, Matthew McConaughey guy for acting. But carry on.
Like it. Are you a very organized person?
Very. I'm organized. I would not say very.
Have you ever given a presentation in front of a large group of people? How did it go?
Yes, I have, Jeff. Yes, I have.
Number 28. What is the strangest dream you've ever had? Can you do this in a couple seconds? Go.
Oh, strangest dream. I've had dreams that I was abducted by aliens and then created a new civilization on another planet. And I remember it vividly. Yeah. Can
you answer Alex's questions too? I think it's a great follow-up question to your turtle saving.
Do you make sure the turtle is taken to the side
so that it's still moving in the same direction that it was, or do you just mess its life up?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question because otherwise you put it there and it turns right around and goes back into the road.
Oh, this could take a while. But number 29. What is a controversial opinion you have? We're not going to get into it. You're just going to say it, and we're going to move on.
I am not a fan of cancel culture.
Who in your life brings the most joy? That's Jeff. Okay, 31. Who had the biggest impact on you? Oh, I'm sorry. Who had the biggest impact on the person you have become? Okay, that's also Jeff. We'll move on to 32. What is the most annoying habit someone can have?
Answering questions on my behalf.
Even if they're right. What is the most beautiful place you've ever been, and why is it Ohio?
No,
seriously. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
So I lived in Hawaii So there, we lived in kind of a rainforest, and my dad.
Not asking about where you lived. Not asking about where you lived. Wondering where the most beautiful place is.
My dad used to walk me to this waterfall in the rainforest, and it was amazing. Yeah,
really. That seems like something from a movie.
And I was like 5-6 years old at the time, so I feel like it was like a 500-foot waterfall.
Oh, sure, yeah.
10 feet tall, but I mean, yeah.
How long did you live in Hawaii?
3 years.
3 years. What island?
Oahu.
These are not part of the questions. We're still on number 34. Where do you spend most of your free time /day?
Those are two different things. Most of my day
is reading the question.
Right. Most of my day is right here with this view. Free time, it depends on how much free time I have. If I have enough time to get to the beach, I will. Beach. Otherwise, it is just out back, sipping coffee or reading a book.
Number 35. Who was your best friend in elementary school?
So in elementary school, I can think of 3 based off where I lived, but the one that I'm still in contact with now, his name is Chris McGowan. He lives in Milwaukee, Wisconsin now. How
often do you stay up past 3 a.m.?
Not since I was like 22 years old. So no, never.
What is your favorite season and why?
Fall. I love when it starts to get cold. Early fall, I'll say. I love when it starts to get cold, and at nighttime, it's amazing sleeping weather. I
love wearing like a jeans and a hoodie.
There you go.
Where you could still, but you could still do flip flops.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
That's a total dad move right there too. Flip flops with jeans and a hoodie. Yes.
Well, my wife likes that too, so maybe she's a dad.
Okay.
Number 38. Which is more important, having a great car or a great house, and why?
House. Car, I feel like, is more for show. House is more for comfort.
So this reminds me of an interesting quote from Blue Bloods, Frank Reagan, who tells his grandkids, they're just giving a random piece of advice, and he says, if you're ever short on money and you have to choose between paying your house payment or your car payment, pay the car payment first, because you can live in your car, but you can't drive your house. That's not the same question. I agree with your answer to this particular question. It just reminded me of that quote. Because Blue Bloods is another one of I really enjoy that show. Anyway, 39. What animal or insect do you wish humans could eradicate?
Either fire ants or wasps.
Ooh, good answer. Number 40. We're at 40, Dave. We got 3 minutes left. Where's the most beautiful place near where you live? Oh my God, I got there. Like the ocean?
Right there.
right there. What do you bring with you everywhere you go?
My phone, I guess. Yeah, probably my phone.
How much
Jeff
time?
Gargas in my heart.
How much time do you spend on the internet, and what do you usually do?
Too much. And normally, when I'm on the internet, I'm live. So this.
What is the most disgusting habit someone can have?
I'm not a fan of like people picking toenails and stuff like that. That's interesting, especially when you can see it. Yeah, no, I'll pass. Hide
if you can do that. Where and when was the most amazing sunset you ever had? We have 2 minutes left, and I actually have a meeting right after this, so I can't go over like we normally.
Yep, you're good. You're good. Destin, Florida. A couple of years ago, just to watch it fall over the Gulf. It's pretty impressive.
I'm skipping because I just happened to see this one. We'll finish on this one, number 47. If you had to change your name, what would your new name be?
When I was a kid, I always wanted to be called Mike for some reason. No idea why. So I'll go with Mike. Or Maverick. Maverick's a good one too.
Okay. Mike or Maverick. I love it. With that, I appreciate everyone jumping in the comments and sharing all your ideas and everything there. Really love to know if you think that Dave would make a good Mike or Maverick. I think either one would work, actually. I don't know why. I didn't think Maverick would, but I could totally see it. Just saying. Okay. Totally see it, dude. You mentioned being live all the time. Want to remind everyone that on August 2nd, we're going to be live a whole lot, 5 days a week, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 a.m.? Nope. 7 a.m. Eastern time.
7 Eastern, yep.
6 a.m. your time. It's like 1 in the morning. It's basically the day before for Live. But that's going to happen. And that is actually going to have its own podcast as well. So you can be able to listen to it later as well. Of course, it's saved everywhere else. So make sure you're tuning in for that starting August 2nd, which is not that far away somehow.
It's crazy.
Tomorrow night, make sure you join us for Teach Better Chat at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Caitlin O'Connor leading us there. I believe Ray is live with her afterwards. So 8 o'clock for the chat, 8:30 for the live. And Dave and I will be back here next week, same time, same place to hang out with you. So appreciate you jumping in. Appreciate you hanging out. Just appreciate everything you do all the time, every day, all day. And we'll see you next week. Later.